Because of the recent release of Predator Badlands, it got me back into the mood of this franchise. So I went back and watched all of the ones that I had not seen in a very long time. And since there are 9 movies in this franchise, I thought, why not make my very first ranking video? So sit back, relax, and let's go through the 9 movies in this franchise from the absolute worst to the very best. So as Khan said in Star Trek Into Darkness,
Shall we begin?
at the very bottom of this list, we have Alien vs. Predator Requiem, the sequel to Alien vs. Predator, which is a little bit high on this list. You don't know where yet, so you gotta stay tuned.
Stick around.
And the very first thing I gotta bring up, because if I don't bring it up, people will tell me, did you not notice that thing? No, I noticed that thing. Is that the movie is so bloody dark. Not in content, not in maturity, not in subject matter. Even though there are some dark moments. No, I'm talking about light. There is no light. Turn the brightness back up. Did the director of photography not know that you need to start with lighting up your screen so you can see what's happening? And on top of that, you're filming most of your scenes in nighttime. So you're a dark movie with no light and you're filming at night.
Not a great plan.
I mean, bravo, right from the start. You can't even see your movie. Maybe they were doing it on purpose. It's like, guys, we made a bad movie. I don't want to put this thing out. So how about we make it dark so they can't even see how bad we did? Thinking of it, that's probably what happened. I would want to do that if I made this film. Is this movie god-awful? No. But I won't lie. Sometimes when I do want to see The Predator, I can't believe I said that. I want to see The Predator in this movie. You can't even see it. Anyways, when I want to watch more Predator movies, I do put it on every once in a while. It's not even a guilty pleasure thing. It's that this is another movie where there's a predator in it, so I want to watch it. It's got some nice gory kills that make me go, nasty. I like that.
Nice.
Then there are times where a predator morph, I guess that's what you can call it, starts impregnating a pregnant mother in hospital and starts putting eggs in its mouth, Stranger Things season 5 style. And you're going, that's maybe a bit too nasty. But one thing most people know about this franchise, this is definitely the weakest one. The next one up on the list is also horrible, but it at least has some redeeming qualities. Not enough to get it any higher. And that brings us to number 8, 2018's The Predator. Man, I was so hyped for this movie. It was one of my most anticipated of that year. And oh God, I went to watch it with one of my friends and he just said, sorry to me at the end. Greg, shout out to you. Yes, I remember. And it had all the things working for it. You had Shane Black coming back. Bars, baby, bars. He was in the original movie. Apparently, he even helped write the original movie. Because Shane Black is a gifted writer. He wrote the first Lethal Weapon. He wrote The Nice Guys. I bloody love The Nice Guys. It is one of the most underrated and most underappreciated movies of that year. And if you hate A Good Day to Die Hard, as you should, it is horrible. Just watch The Last Boy Scout, written by Shane Black, and imagine every time they call Bruce Willis's character Joe Hollenbach, they call him John McClane. It is an amazing Die Hard movie. That's how good Last Boy Scout is. And then you also have Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So what the hell happened on this movie? How could you? I mean, I don't understand. Sometimes you watch a movie, you just don't understand. All the pieces were there. Everything seemed right, and then when you watch it and you tell yourself, I guess it didn't. Now, obviously, this movie had some problems while they were making it. There was a whole different finale that they were going to film, that they changed. But even if they had that finale, there are other things in this movie that just make no sense. I don't mind trying to make it a little bit more funny. I get that. Most of his movies have jokes in them. You cannot take that out of him as a writer. But you kind of have to not forget that this is a Predator movie. I don't even care about the whole plot of the Predators coming down to Earth to research humans, and then the next evolution of humans is someone who's autistic. It sounds crazy, but I don't care. That would have been the least amount of my issues if the movie was good. And then you have that whole thing where there's a predator, but then there's a super predator. And for most of this movie, this super predator is being shot by bullets the whole time. No problem, no scratch, no nothing. Bullets deflect off him harder than Superman. But in the last 5 to 10 minutes, all of a sudden, bullets work. And I will never forget when Sterling K. Brown's character died in this movie. Actually, you know what? I did forget. Not that I forgot. I didn't even realize he died till I got home and I watched videos, spoiler reviews of this movie and realized, oh, when Sterling K. Brown's character died, I'm like, when did he die? Do you know when he died? He put on the Predator shoulder plasma cannon and wanted to shoot the Predator, and it shot his head off. It did have some things working for it. I did like the cast, that whole bunch of misfits. I liked everybody that was cast there. It could have worked out well if you used them well, but you didn't. If I had a YouTube channel then, it would have been in my top 5 worst of that year. Because the anticipation I had for that movie, it didn't even have to live up to my expectations, just like meet it somewhere here. But it just kept, I'm like, come back, and just kept going lower and lower. But yeah, at number 8, we have The Predator. At number 7, we have Alien vs. Predator, the first one. If I made this list when I was a kid, I won't lie, this probably would have been higher because I have a lot of nostalgic memories with how fun this movie was when I watched it the first time. Who didn't get excited as a kid to see Alien and Predator in the same movie? Come on. I'm only human. After the teaser with the skull in Predator 2, it made sense. You know, like, oh, let's use that little Easter egg that we put in the movie. And for all intensive purposes, I enjoy this movie as a guilty pleasure. There's another movie on this list that I also enjoy as a guilty pleasure, but this one I'm even more guilty of finding the pleasure in it. And it also introduced one of the things that I just don't like in Predator lore, or in the Predator movie lore. I guess in the comics is there as well. When the Predator helps the humans, I just don't like it. It just doesn't gel well with me when the Predator's there with Sana Lathan's character, and you know they're working together so that they can take down the xenomorphs. I don't like it. I would have liked it at the end. He just went. I know I'm a bit dark myself, but I just don't like it. I just don't like it. There's another movie on this list where the Predator helps the human that I also don't like. But I won't lie, there's a lot of fun in this movie. When the Predator is actually fighting the xenomorph like proper, I love that stuff. That stuff was amazing. But also, the xenomorphs are just animals. I mean, the Predator, I mean, we're all animals, but the xenomorph is just an animal. It's just like a dog, you know. It's like a guard dog guarding the queen. How does it have the ability to win against a Predator? It just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? It's just the Predator is so much more sophisticated of a warrior. It's an actual warrior. It goes to planets before they become who they are. They have to go hunting, and that's why they pick the xenomorph. But at the end of the day, it's going to be easier to take them down. But in this movie, I found it so weird when the xenomorph got the upper hand on the Predator. It did make me go, oh, whoa, as a kid. So there was that. So it gets the spot of number 7. At number 6 in this ranking, this is where the hot take might come in. But it is Prey. I do not like this movie as much as everybody else does. I think this movie is overrated to high heaven. I believe, yes, it is a return to form after The Predator. Abso-bloody-lutely. For sure. I'll give it that at least. And this movie just ends so weirdly when the Predator is killed by his own machine, which I don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind that. It's pretty cool. But the way it got killed by its own machine, she uses its own helmet to direct the arrow to come and kill it. But the way the Predator just looks at this thing, he shoots the arrow, realizes that it went around the tree and is coming back, but still he goes, Bro, you're a bloody warrior Predator. You've used this thing before. How about you just duck your head? Just duck your head. How about just by reflex? Oh my God, I don't know what's coming behind me, you know? Do anything. So when that happened at the end, I went, come on. This movie would have been a little bit higher without that ending. That ending was stupid, man. You could have killed it any other way, but there are 2 movies in this ranking that I've only watched once. It's Prey and another one which I will let you know of. Maybe I need to watch it a second time to get a little bit more out of it. But from that one watch, I just do not like this movie as much as everyone else does. Therefore, it gets the ranking at number 6. And at number 5, we have the most recent one, Predator Badlands, which I'm glad I watched a second time, because if I didn't watch it a second time, it was going to be much higher in this ranking, which I'm glad I watched it a second time because it gets a lower spot in this ranking. For this movie, I went in hyped for it. I wanted to see what they were going to do with making the Predator the hero now, which all in all, I don't really care about. I think it's a good idea. If I was to ever, I've said this in my previous Predator videos, if I was to make a Predator story, I myself would make the Predator the hero in a much more vicious way, not in the cookie cutter way they made it in Predator Badlands. And when I watched it the first time, I was enjoying a lot about it. But when I watched it the second time without the hype, knowing what was coming, a lot of things stood out to me. And I have to say, it lost a lot of its charm the second time around. There's still a lot of things I like about it. The action to me was very well filmed, except for the first initial action scene where he was fighting with his brother. I thought the camera was a bit too close. You should just, frame it out a little bit. On top of that, they were all CG. So if there's CG jumping around each other so close, we need to see what's happening. So other than that first fight scene, I thought every other scene was handled very well when it comes to the action. And I also like seeing Elle Fanning in a movie like this. She's normally in a lot of dramas and indie pictures or those Oscar-type pictures. So seeing her in a movie like this, it brought something new. Now, she is a little bit annoying, yes, but she wasn't too annoying as to disrupt my enjoyment of the movie. When I watched it the first time, I liked it as a movie, but when I watched it the second time, I liked it. But just like another movie in this ranking, I liked it more as a guilty pleasure. Now, I will watch it again because I do want to watch it again, but it's definitely going to be more of a guilty pleasure enjoyment rather than a movie enjoyment as a whole movie. It definitely lost a lot of its luster the second time, which was very interesting to me. I haven't watched a movie in a long time where watching it for the second time brought it down a lot. The last time this happened was with, I think, 2014's Godzilla. That movie had the most intense fight scene at the end, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool, Godzilla! And then when I came home and everything dissipated, I'm like, the rest of the movie was not very good though. Yeah, I kind of don't like that movie. And kind of the same thing happened with Predator Badlands. I don't not like the movie now. It's still a decent movie, but it was a little less good the second time around. And that sword in that movie, that lightsaber sword, that thing makes no sense. People who haven't seen the movie yet, go watch the movie. That sword makes no sense. Lightsabers are weaker. Moving on to number 4, we have earlier this year's Killer of Killers, the last Dan Trachtenberg Predator movie, and they're all bundled together. Prey, Badlands, Killer of Killers. Out of all of his 3 movies that he has done in this franchise, this one is definitely my favorite. I have also only seen this movie one time, but I do enjoy it. I like the concept. This is the concept everybody has ever had about this creature, about this specimen. How would he handle himself with a samurai? How would he handle himself with a Viking? How would he handle himself with a soldier? Which we kind of got already in the classic. And I like how they used that idea. And I also like the fact that it was animated so they could do things with characters that made it a little bit more cinematic. Even though it was animated, it looked cinematic. And it was bloody and had good choreography in the fights. But I do think my favorite segment, actually I don't think, I know, my favorite segment was the Viking one. The initial opening of the animation was my favorite one. The samurai one was good, and definitely the weakest one was the World War pilot one. But there was something about the Viking one that just had a little bit more gravitas to it. But therein also lies its problem. Because we got to see these 3 segments of what a Predator would do in these time periods, we most likely won't see them ever do it in a live action film, which I feel 2 ways about, because we could have made them, but then we would have been redundant in this franchise because the Predator just keeps going to a new place, finding the best warrior, trying to kill them, and most likely the hero is going to win unless you want to make the bad guy win, which he is now the good guy, so that's why I didn't mind Predator Badlands, because they changed up the formula. But you also could have made it for very cheap, something under 80 million instead of 300 and 400 million movies that they're making now. Predator Badlands was 100 million. Do you need to make a Predator movie for 100 million? So maybe if they did the Viking setting and then the samurai setting for cheap, almost guerrilla style filmmaking, maybe it could have been done well. The first one would have to be done well, because if you didn't do the first one well, the second one was not going to hit with audiences. But then again, for the most part, I did enjoy Killer of Killers because they brought that concept to fruition, and I enjoyed what they did with that concept. And now we come to the top 3. Oops, 3. So at number 3, we have 2010's Predators with an S, with Adrian Brody in the lead. The first time I watched this movie, I was kind of disappointed. I wasn't humongously disappointed, but I wanted a little bit more from this movie than I got. But as time went on, this movie grew on me. And now when I watch it, I enjoy it a lot more. The fact that we are back in the jungle, we got that music coming back as well. Alan Silvestri's music for the Predator movies is just, oh. So when we got a new version of that music implemented into this, it played with my nostalgia. I ain't gonna lie. But it does have its issues. One being is a little bit slow, especially for a Predator fan when you're watching it and you're taking time getting to the Predators. Anybody that knows this franchise knows what they look like, knows what they're capable of. So when you're taking your time getting to it, you feel like, oh, can we get to it faster? We know there's a Predator, we just want to see how they look. But when the movie does get going, everything about it, I absolutely love. All the bullets hit hard, the Predators themselves look super menacing. I would say, other than the first one, this is when they looked a lot more menacing than normal. And I liked that. But one thing I absolutely hated about this movie when it was coming out, back when I used to watch trailers, there was this shot in the trailer. Yeah, anybody that hasn't seen Predators yet, that scene is a lie. There are only about 4 Predators in this movie. And at that point in the movie, only one was aiming at him. Whoever made that scene in the trailer, you got me. Hate you, but you got me. And then when the action does hit, what they do is slow down the movie when they introduce Lawrence Fishburne's character and they go into his little bunker so he can steal their stuff. I thought that scene slowed down the movie a lot. I could have done with one more amazing Predator action scene. And they also do that thing that they did in Alien vs. Predator where you have the Predator helping the human, kind of. Adrian Brody releases one of the Predators that was tied up by the other bad Predators so he can help him fight the bad Predator. So now he's the good Predator. And since Adrian Brody helped him, he kind of doesn't kill him. Why? Look, moving forward, if somebody in the Predator franchise is making a new movie and you see this video, stop having them help humans. Just kill all the humans. I like when the Predator is ferocious. I don't like them helping the humans. It makes no sense. Yes, I know in the comic book lore he does it, but don't put it in the movies. All that being said, this movie as a whole has a lot of entertainment value in it, and whenever I go back to watch the Predator franchise, I get slightly excited to put this one back on. Everyone talks about how Adrian Brody was miscast. I can make a list of people that are miscast for movies. He wouldn't be on my list. He's fine. He looks formidable. I will say the gravelly voice he gives this character is a bit too gravelly. I do like Alice Braga though. Always had a crush on her ever since I Am Legend. And speaking of the cast, most of the cast in this movie, way before they were famous, there are so many actors that you will see in this movie way before they were, as big as they are now. I think they did exactly what they needed to do to make their characters seem different from one another. Walton Goggins especially says some of the most disgusting things in the movie. And now we move on to number 2, which is Predator 2. I think this is the most underappreciated Predator movie in the entire franchise. People should be talking about this movie way more than they are. Yes, is it a step down from the original? Obviously. But this movie has a lot going for it. You had Danny Glover. I love when they cast somebody that you wouldn't normally cast in this type of role, even though I know Danny Glover was in an action movie in Lethal Weapon, but he wasn't an action star. He was the old guy next to Mel Gibson's young guy. He wasn't, the action star he is in this movie. And I like when you pick somebody that doesn't necessarily fit amazingly for a role, but still does well in that role. And Danny Glover, I believe, was somebody you wouldn't think putting in a Predator movie. And to me, he's one of the best aspects of Predator 2. But for the ones that don't know, Patrick Swayze was the first choice for this movie. R.I.P. Dalton. R.I.P. This movie takes place in Los Angeles, the concrete jungle, as opposed to the original's jungle. Which again, I like. You want to keep this franchise fresh. You want to go back to the jungle, which I don't mind. You can go back to the jungle, but you want to change things up a bit. So put them in the concrete jungle. One thing I do absolutely love about this movie is Alan Silvestri came back to do the music and he upgraded on the amazing music he had in the first for this one. Bro, just listen to the music on YouTube by itself. It is pretty good. You also have a young Bill Paxton here and a crazy Gary Busey. The guy's an alien himself, but he's so entertaining. Him in this movie, him in Point Break, he works well in those characters. I don't have a lot of things to say about this movie, even though it's number 2. You're like, dude, you don't have a lot of things to say about this movie. You put this at number 2. You better have a lot of things to say about it. Most of what I love about this movie is it's a feeling thing. When you watch this movie, you still feel in the Predator universe. Not just because the Predator's there. And you do extend the lore of this universe. You got an idea of who they were in the first movie, but in this one, they expanded on that, which was cool. And the fact at the end when the leader Predator throws that, what type of gun is that? It's, those pirate guns. I call them pirate guns. When he throws him the pirate gun to show him that you took down one of our best, I guess. So we honor you. But we're not going to tell you that the ship's going to blow up, so you have about 10 seconds. Good luck. I thought that was so funny that they throw him the gun and they just leave and then they blow up the ship. I mean, let a brother know you kind of respect him now. You killed one of our very good warriors. Here you go with the trophy. Should we let him know that it's about to blow up? Shh, we can cover the evidence. But yeah, I'll always have a special place for Predator 2 in my heart, and therefore I will give it number 2. And at number 1, was it ever in doubt?
Knock, knock.
1987's original Predator. To say that I love this movie is an understatement. To say that I adore this movie is another understatement. This movie is one of my all-time favorite movies. I said this in my Predator Badlands video. I think this is the movie that I have seen the most in my entire life. It might not be my all-time favorite movie, but I have seen this movie the most in my entire life. If I was to get the statistics of my life to see which song I listen to the most and which movie that I watch the most, Predator would be the most. This used to be our safety movie back in the day. When I was a kid, we had a schedule. Wake up super crazy early to go to school, which I hated. Come back, eat lunch, take a break, study from 4 to 6. If there was an exam, 4 to 8, standardized testing. And then from 8 to 9, or from 8 to 10, we watch a movie. Man, miss the good old days. And if there was ever a moment we had a hard time picking a movie, we always just say, man, just put Predator. It's like, yeah, just put Predator, man. That was the kind of movie this movie was. Where do I even start? I mean, I should dedicate a whole video to this movie, which I probably will in the future. But for now, what I can say is this is one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movies. It's definitely in his top 3. Even acting-wise. People make a lot of fun about Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting. Terminator 2 might be his best acting-wise, but he's really good here. I mean, the end of this movie has him go mano a mano, Predator to human, Tarzan of the jungle style, without really any dialogue. And that is the best part of the movie. And the opening of this movie is amazing. And the middle of this is suspenseful. I mean, come on. People call this movie the most testosterone-y movie ever. I kind of am in line to agree.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
This is when men were men. You know what I'm talking about? It might be controversial to say that, but this is when men were men. They should play this in the gyms. Why don't they play this in the gym? In my gym, they have a UFC fight that they've been playing for the last 2 months. The same UFC fight. Put Predator, man. Have Arnold Schwarzenegger on one side and put Ace Ventura. Jesse Ventura.
Alrighty then.
Have Jesse Ventura on the other side. Bro, who needs steroids at that point? Watching this as a kid, I used to love movies that had the monster reveal at the end. So when the Predator takes off his mask with the whole... Bro, that shit was amazing. And then the movie is pestered with so many of Arnold Schwarzenegger's amazing one-liners. You know, I love that in most of his movie contracts, I'm assuming they've got to have one-liners, even if it's a drama. It could be a courtroom drama. He would have to have a one-liner. It could be a serious romantic movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger in a serious romance movie? Somebody make that. But whatever it is, he has to have his one-liners, and he has some of his best in this movie. I watched this movie about 3 or 4 months ago, and because Predator Badlands was coming out, I told myself, you know what, let me skip Predator. But then when I was going through the streaming service and I saw it there, and it was in 4K HDR, I'm like, why not? And what is the crazy thing is I still bloody enjoy it. And after all these years, you still can't make one better than it. Yes, it is covered in nostalgia. Yes, it is a movie of its time. Yes, you probably can't make a movie like that now with the gender politics and politics in general about movies. I get it. But even from an entertainment standpoint, all the movies that have come after this movie in this franchise don't come close to that. Terminator as a franchise, the second one was better than the first, even though the first has the foundation as to why you like the second. But the second one is one of the best in the the best in the franchise. Dark Knight Rises is better than Batman Begins to me. But in this franchise, the first Predator has never been eclipsed, has never been dethroned. I'm sure even all the Gen Zers that are born now, if they watch this movie now properly, they will think it's better. This movie will always be number one. I can make a humongous bet that it will never be dethroned. And therefore, it is placed exactly where it needs to be, at number one. I will always enjoy this movie. And if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing, push that notification bell to be notified for all of my other videos. And also write down in the comments how you would rank this franchise. I absolutely want to know. I'm very curious to know what the new generation thinks about this franchise and how they would rank the movies that they have seen. And until next time, peace, love, and I'll see you when I see you.